I'm Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on application of percent. In question number 3, we have a very tricky question. I like you to pause the video, understand the question, answer, and then look into my suggestions. Let's read it first. The price of a pair of shoes is $40 plus 13% tax. If the pair of shoes is marked at 13% off, then will the final price be $40? Explain your answer. Right? So what we are given here is that the price is given as $40. Correct? And then we are saying that discount is 13%. And we also know that on this particular price, the tax is 13%, right? Now, the question for you is to figure out what is the final price. Right? This is what you need to figure out. Now, as you know, discount will be taken away and tax will be added. Now, will these two 13% cancel out and you get the final price as $40? That is your question. Perfect. So, I like you to think about it. This price will be 40, this price will be more than 40, or it will be less than 40. That could be a multiple choice question. Is that clear? Now let's try to figure it out using our calculations. I think you must have got the answer by now, but definitely let me tell you, this is not 40, right? So let me write down here, it is, if you're thinking it is 40, then that is a wrong answer. Now let's see why. Okay. So the calculation here is like this. We have to do 13% of 40. That means 0.13 times 40. How much do we get? Let's use calculator, right? 52 we know, right? So let's do 5.2 I mean. So let's do 0.13 times 40 is equal to, in decimals, 5.2. That is the discount. Now, if that is the discount, the price is 40. So if you take away discount, what do you get? So the net price will be, so we'll say discounted price will be 40 take away 5.2, right? I should write 5.20. So let's take away from 40 5.20, which is in decimals 34.80, right? Now the tax of 13% will be on 34.80. So what we have here, we have to add a tax which is 0.13 times 34.80, which is how much? We already have 34.80, we'll multiply by 0.13, and what we get here in decimals is 4.524. Okay, rounding to 4.52. So you can clearly see 4.52 is much lesser than 5.20, right? So that becomes your tax. So the amount to be paid will be how much? So after discount of 34.80, we'll be adding the tax of 4.52 and see what do we get. So let's do it. 34.8 plus 4.52 is actually equal to, in decimals, 39.32, not 40. Less than that. Do you understand? Now, why is it so? We gave the same discount as the tax. The idea is, discount was on $40, right? So the important thing here to note is that discount was on $40, right? But tax is on discounted price, which is lesser, right? Which is lesser, right? So net price is lesser. Therefore, net price is lesser. Is that clear? Is that clear? So we found 13% of 40, which was $5.20. However, the tax on the reduced price was only $4.52. So this difference gave us the difference in 40 and 39.32. Is that clear to you? Now this is a very important question which could be asked in so many different ways, especially in multiple choice questions. So keep this in mind. I hope that helps. We'll talk about tips in this particular example. Question number 4. When you eat in a restaurant, it is normal to leave a tip that is between 10% and 15% of the bill. For food bill of $36, what range of tip would be acceptable? You can always pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions, right? So we have $36 bill. What is the range means? What is the maximum amount of tip which should be paid if that is the rule? And what is the minimum amount? I should say the norm, right? So that will give you two values. We're looking for these two values for tips. Now, one value, which is the lower limit, is 10%. The other one is 15%. So you need to calculate these two. So 10% of 36 is how much? Well, the 10% of 36 will be 0.1 times 36. You have to just change the decimal, which is $3.6, correct? Or 3.60. 15% will be 0.15 times 36, which is going to be, rough calculation, if 10% is 3.60, you add half of this, right? So you can add like this. We have 3.60. What is half of this? 1.80, right? So when you add this, you get 14, 4, and 1. So you get 5.40. Correct? So the value between these two becomes the range of our bill. Correct? So the tip could be anywhere between, it could be equal to these values also, between 3.60 to 5.40. Values, of course, are in dollars. Is that clear? So that is how we are going to actually solve such questions. I hope it makes sense. Here is question number 5. I paid $64 for the taxi ride with 15% tip. What was the actual cost of the ride? So you can pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. Now, what does this mean? It really means that there is some actual cost, right? So let's make a framework. So actual cost. Now I am paying 15% tip on this actual cost. So actual cost plus 15% tip. And once you add this up, you get the final payment. Finally paid. So in this particular question, we are given that I paid $64. What you need to figure out is what was the actual cost. Is that clear to you? So we are going to do reverse calculation in this particular question. So I'd like you to pause the video, find the answer, and then look into my suggestion. Okay, so let's see how to do this particular question. Now if you think about it, we have paid something which is 15% more than the cost, right? So if the cost was a particular amount, this is 1.15 times, right? So if cost was, let's say, C, then we multiplied this by 1.15 to get the value. But if I have to go back, because 15% more, right? So original cost plus 15%. 15% means what? 15% means 0.15, right? Plus the cost. So it becomes 1.15. So if you have to go backwards, what should you do? We multiply to come in this direction, right? So to go backwards and to get to the cost, we should divide, right? So what we should do here is we should divide 64 by 1.15 to get our answer. So if I do that, what do I get? I get 64 divided by 1.15, and this gives me, in decimals, some weird answer, which is 55.65, right? Let's do it again. So I paid $64, okay, 64 divided by 1.15 is giving me 55.65. Okay, we'll keep this. So what we can do is kind of do a reverse calculation also. So we have done this. Now let's figure out if this price is 55.65, then what is 15% on this? So we are trying to check our result, right? So we have 55.65. So if I add 15%, which is times 0.15, how much do I get? This amount will be 8.34. So I have to add 8.34, right? So if I add this amount, what do I get? So when I add 8.34 to 55.65, I do get 63.99, right? So basically, because we rounded this, so we get 63.99, right? So I think that is correct. So we got 64 and 63.99. That is because of the rounding. So we do get the answer. So the idea here is when we are going back, we have to do division, right? We know we are looking for a smaller value there. So you'll divide by 1.15 to get that answer. Does make sense to you? So that is how you could easily get your answer. Perfect. Here is another very interesting question. In this series, we have many questions related to sales tax, discount, and tips. I like you to actually go through other videos also so that you get the complete concept. Question number 6 here is, after discount of 20% and tax of 15%, I paid $44.16 for a shirt. Find its actual price. All right, so we have actual price right there. On actual price, we'll have a 20% discount. And on 20% discount, we are going to have 15% tax. And once we add them all, what we get is 44.16. Right? So what we get here is 44.16. So what we need to do is step by step go up. Perfect. So how do we find the figures? So we should understand that this value is lower, right? We add 15% to get to 44.16, and whatever this value is, when you add 15%, that means this is becoming 1.15 times, correct? So to go from here to there, what should I do? Since we have added 15%, I should actually divide 44.16 by 1.15. Is that clear? right? I should divide this amount by 1.15 to get the amount which was after discount. That is the first step. So let's figure this out. So we have 44.16 divided by 1.15, and that gives you a value of 38.40. Okay. Now the idea is that we have to get the sales price. So we are going from a discounted price, right, to the higher price. This is 20% off, right? So the actual price was higher, right? So what should you now do to get that higher price, right? What should you do to get that higher price? So after 20% discount, it becomes 38.40, right? So that price will be in somewhere around 40s, so that when you take away 20%, you get 38.40. So what could that be? That is what you need to now think and write down your answer. So I'd like you to pause the video, think about it, and then write down your answer. So I hope you got your answer, right? Now think like this. When from actual price you came to the discount, what did you do? You did not pay 100%. You paid 80%, right? 20% discount means you paid 80%. So when you go back, you have to divide by 0.8, right? So you get 38.40 divided by 0.8 to get your answer. Does make sense to you, right? So then you get the actual price. So you get 38.40 divided by 0.8 gives you 48. So $48 becomes the actual price. Do you understand the concept, right? So it's a very important concept. How do you go back? Now let's check our answer. So if we start with $48, right, then 20% off means 0.2 times 48 is actually equal to, in decimals, 9.6. So we'll do minus 9.60, right? This is 0, 0. So we get 48 minus 9.6, which is equal to 38.40. So we get 38.40. Now on this 38.40, we have to add 15% tax, right? So on this, we do times 0.15. So that is the tax, which is equal to 5.76. So plus 5.76, and this is the tax, correct? Add it up. So when you add 5.76 to 38.40, you get the value as 44.16. Correct? Which is what you paid. Is that clear to you? So I hope by the end of this video, you have understood all the concepts, how we can quickly go from the actual price to a discounted price, then to a taxed price, and then also see it backwards. So this particular concept of, 15% adding means 1.15, 20% discount means paying only 80% helps to go back and forth and find the right values. So that was the key on this particular video. I hope you understood the concept. Feel free to write your comments and share your views. If you like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Thanks for watching and all the best.